Evening everyone, I hope you're keeping well and welcome to week 21 of the live stream guitar lessons. So hopefully you've enjoyed them all so far, and so we'll just be continuing on with more of the same kind of things as we've been doing over the last few weeks and months now in fact. So a couple of things to think about before we get started, usual kind of things. So if you are on your computer, if you just turn off emails and any social media, or if you're on a phone or whatever, just turn all that stuff off. That gives us our dedicated half an hour of guitar playing, which is really important. So that's why we want to focus on it. So that's cool. If there are any children watching this, then having a parent in the room just to help guide them through any bits and pieces that maybe they find a bit tricky to understand is always helpful. Other than that, I think we're pretty much good to go. So we'll recap a few of the bits that we did last week, and then we'll move on to a few new exercises as well. So, so as usual, we're going to start off by tuning the guitar. So just adjust the pegs accordingly. So here's our bottom E string. Here we go. Okay, and then on to A. And then D. And then G. And then on to B. And then finally our top E string. Okay, cool. So if you've got any questions, please do fire away, pop them in the chat or put them in the description on this video if you're watching it back later on. But without further ado, we are going to get started with our warm-up. So last week we talked about having a go at exercise 6, which is Wonderland. So this is the one, if you remember, which has kind of 2 lines of music. So we're going to play the bass note with our thumb, so the first note being C. And then what we're going to do is use our index and middle fingers to play the high notes, or the E's in this case. Ideally we alternate between the 2 fingers, that's the plan. I've written in the book to go middle, index. It doesn't really matter whether you go middle index or index middle, as long as you're alternating, that's kind of the more important aspect really. So remember as well, looking at the exercise, we can play it in its entirety. So we've got the first line twice, then we play the second line, and then our D, C, F, fine instruction, which tells us to go back to the beginning and play the first line again. So let's give it a go. Good luck everybody. So after 3, so 1, 2, 3. Repeat that line. To rest, and the second line. Back to the beginning. Okay, good. So hopefully that's all going okay. I think we've played that for a couple of weeks now, so hopefully it's sort of sinking in. Like I said, if you've got any questions about it, do fire away. It's just building on everything we've been covering so far. So typically when you're playing a guitar, your fingers, when you're playing fingerstyle guitar, this is your fingers on the right hand, or your plucking hand, I should say, are going to be playing the melody line on the top few strings, and your thumb typically is going to play the bassy notes and usually covers these 3 strings. But you know, that's just a rough guide, and there's always exceptions to the rule, and lots of them. But you know, just as a sort of blanket starting point, that's not a bad place to begin with at all. So, okay, so moving on then. We said we'd also have to go at number 7 again, because we've got this idea of the percussive hit. So this is a little bit more, well, I don't know if it's more difficult. Perhaps you could let me know what you think. But we're doing something different with our right hand. We're not just plucking strings, we're doing that kind of thing as well. So hence spending a little bit longer on this one. But yeah, you know, hopefully it's going okay. So again, we'll play in its entirety. So we play all of the first line, then the first 4 bars of the second line, go back to the beginning, all again, and then we finish off on that final bar, which is just an A open 5th string. So yeah, let's give it a go. Perhaps just one thing to watch out for being bar 5, or bars 5 and 6, I should say. So you play the A, and then we want to try and let these notes ring into each other. So you could switch to free stroke there, or you could stick with rest stroke, whatever feels more comfortable for you at this stage. And just a quick recap, you see that. So remembering that rest stroke, we play the string and we come across and we rest on the next string, hence the name. When we do free stroke, you see this, we sort of pluck the strings kind of up and away. And when you do this one, try not to let the hand ping away. You just want the, sorry, I just got back to rest stroke. You just want those finger movements to be relatively small, but you know, if it's too small, you might not get enough volume. So you know, you've got to find that balance. The other thing I should say is if you are playing, well, either of them really, but probably more free stroke. I don't know if that's going to come across on the camera or not, but that kind of slightly twangy, not particularly pleasant kind of sound, like that. If you're getting that kind of sound, you don't want that. Okay, so that's basically what you're doing. More than likely, is getting underneath the string too much. I'm not sure it's going to come through, but you're pulling the string up and away, and then you let go, and then you can kind of hear the sound of the string slap back down onto the guitar, and that creates that sort of, you know, not great sound really. So you just try and go a little bit more gentle on it, and then you should be all right. But you know, I say all these things. I've played guitar for a long time, so these things are sort of fairly ingrained in me now, really. So when you're starting off, it's very easy to say, just do this, just do that, and you know, you might be like, huh, what are you talking about? You know, and but just persevere with it, and you should hopefully be all right after a while. So. Okay, but on with number 7 then. So I've explained the structure. So we're going to go after 4. So here we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Give yourselves a pat on the back if that all went well, which fingers crossed it did, obviously. So, okay, and then the bottom of the page, we've got the table with the notes in. I think I talked about this last week, but just in case I didn't. So E, what we're getting at is that it's on the 4th string, and then it's going to be at the 2nd fret, and then F, it's going to be the same string, 4th string there, but at the 3rd fret, and then C is the other one, and that's same fret this time, but on the 5th string. So 5th string, 3rd fret is our C. Okay, so let's turn the page, and another of the exercises we attempted last week was the C major scale. I think I was talking about this in terms of the scales being like the fundamental building blocks of music, and that is the case. So well worth knowing, or at least having some sort of understanding of scales. You know, they filter through into all our chords and everything as well. So definitely something worth having an understanding of. So, okay, so we're going to start on this C here and work our way up to this C here, and we just play all the notes we've learnt in between. So let's give it a go. So after 4, so 3, 4. So yeah, hopefully that was fairly straightforward. Scales are always a good thing to do as a bit of a warm up. They just loosen up the fingers, get everything moving. So we'll probably set that as a warm up for today, ready for next week. But I'll talk about that at the end as well. So okay, so moving on then to number 9, we have new note B. That is 5th string at the 2nd fret. So if you, in fact, let's all play the B together. So 5th string 2nd. Hopefully when you play that note it sounds like that. If it sounds different, just double check your tuning, double check you're at the right fret, that kind of thing. So yeah, that's B. And if we're looking at page 8 in the book, about halfway down the page we've got that picture there which shows us exactly what the note B is. So I'll just bring that up onto the screen and just point that out to you. So this note here, so that where we've got that extra ledger line. So remember, the ledger line is the little extra line that we sort of extend the stave with, and so when it hangs off the bottom of that, that is our note B. Always going to be a B of some description. The little 2 next to it is telling us to use our 1st finger, sorry, 2nd finger even, yeah, that's pretty much it in terms of what the B is all about. So okay, so we're going to go on to number 9, so the drawbridge, and I think we played this one last week. So this is all practice around these newer notes around the 4th and the 5th strings. So hopefully you've all been okay with that. Again, obviously just fire away if you've got any questions. So in terms of structure, we're going to play the first line twice because we've got our repeat marks at the end of the first line. And then we just go through and play lines 2 and 3 after each other, and then finish at the end there. So let's give it a go. We'll play it all together. So I'll count us in as usual. I'll shout a few notes out as we're going, that kind of thing. So good luck. Hope it goes well. So after 4. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's A. Back to the beginning. 2, 2, to the second line, C there. B, A, B, hold it for 2. C, C, B, A, B, hold it, and then cut the sound off, 3 and 4, and then back in. 2, 2, okay, so that's that's that one. So hopefully that went well. Obviously if it did, give yourself a pat on the back as usual. What I'd like to do is play that one again actually, but we're going to go a little bit faster. I can't remember the exact speed of the track, but if I just demonstrate quickly, we're going to go more like this kind of speed, like. So something like that. So we're just kind of picking the tempo up a little bit here. So, okay, so let's try it again. So after 4, good luck everybody. Here we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So, okay, all good. Hopefully that went well. Obviously, as I say, we just picked the speed up a little bit just for an added challenge. One thing, again, I'm not sure if I've mentioned this previously, but if you're playing with your thumb, which obviously we were doing, or hopefully you were doing on that particular exercise, the question then is, what do you do with your fingers on your right hand? So we don't want to do anything like this. You don't want your hand down here and then have your thumb reaching over. I've seen people do that before. You know, always try and discourage it because you've got such a big stretch going on here that it's really difficult to sort of get a feel for what you're doing. So what you want to try and do is either rest these fingers on the first string. So we don't really use the pinky finger, so you can kind of forget about that one primarily for now. And then, so these three, your index, middle and third fingers, we can just rest on the first string, or alternatively you could rest index finger on the third string, middle finger on the second string, and your third finger on the first string. And then use your thumb obviously to play whatever notes are needed on the lower strings. So you can do that, or you can do that. It doesn't really matter, I suppose. The reason for putting your fingers here is that when we come to be playing stuff where, you know, we're perhaps playing other bits and pieces, so you're combining the notes on the high strings with a bass note, which is a lot of what fingerstyle playing is about, no matter what style you're talking about, then it's, you know, it just keeps these fingers sort of ready and in position, which is why we don't want them down here, because you're eventually at some point, if you get into the habit of doing that, you're going to have to retrain them to bring them back up here. So we just want to see if we can get that kind of idea down early doors, really. So hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully you've been doing that anyway. I appreciate I didn't mention that before, at least I don't think I did. So yeah, but something to think about moving forward. So talking of moving forward, we are going to go on to number 10. So number 10 is a duet that could be performed with number 9. So I think we talked about duets before, so for anyone that's not sure, it's basically just two pieces of music that can be played together. So if you've got a friend who happens to be following this course, they can play number 9 and you can play number 10, or vice versa, and you can chop and change it around. You can play the whole thing twice and switch halfway, that kind of thing. So yeah, so that's what's going on here. So unsurprisingly then, when we look at number 10, in terms of like the format of the tune, is exactly the same. So we're going to play the first line twice, and then we'll play the second line and then the third line. Now, because number 9 is all sort of low notes, it therefore makes sense if we're going to do a duet, but the other guitar part is not going to be doing low notes because they're going to sort of get in the way a little bit. So we're going to be playing much higher, well, higher notes anyway, maybe not much higher. But these are all the notes that we learnt in Guitar Quest 1, so hopefully they'll feel a little bit more familiar. So we'll have a go, we'll play through it. I'll shout some of the notes out as we go, the usual kind of thing, some of the timing. If you want to use words to help as well, then T's for the crotchets, coffees for the quavers. Where we've got minims, you could say T and then 2. Or we've got 7 breathe at the end, that's our 4-beat note, so T, 2, 3, 4. So, let's give it a go. Here we go. So, after 4, we'll take it nice and slow to begin with, starting on our C, 2nd string, 1st fret. Remember, I've just noticed I was there. You want to try and make sure you're coming up to pretty much the fret wire, sorry. So you don't want to be too far down here. Remember, if you're too far over here, you get that unpleasant sound because it's just difficult to get the pressure through. So we come over this side and we hopefully get much cleaner sound. So, okay, here we go then. I've waffled on enough, I think. So after 4, so 1, 2, 3, 4. C, 2. 2. Back to the beginning of that line. 2, C, D, E, C, D, B, C, B, A, G, G. Come on to the 3rd line. 2. Two, 3, 4. Okay, cool. So, hopefully that's all gone okay. Obviously, fire away if you've got any questions. As I say, they can also be played together. So, what I'm going to do is just find the backing track for that and pop that one on. So, I've got a demo track that's just number 10. So the Palace, or with some of the backing, and then there's also, if you go onto my YouTube channel, one of the videos has got 9 and 10 combined. I won't play that now because it will take up a little bit too much time, but you can hear how the two interact with each other then. So, okay, so here we go. Hope you enjoy it. Okay, so hopefully you'll enjoy that one, and I say if you've got any friends following the course or even just people you can play, then you could always do the duet with them. Just playing with other people is always one of the most fun aspects of playing music, so it's always good to try that kind of thing. So okay, so we're going to go on to number 11, which is Cirrus. So more practice really on these lower notes. So we've got lots on the 5th string and the 4th string. So remember, 5th string we've got A as the open string, B at the 2nd fret, C at the 3rd fret, and then looking at the tune, yeah, we've got D, E, and F as well. So open 4th, E at the 2nd fret, and F at the 3rd fret. So I'll play it to you. We'll go sort of nice and slow. Feel free to join in as best you can. So there's more quavers in this one, so it might feel a little bit quicker than, for example, the drawbridge, which was the other one, which had lots of practice on these notes. But we'll take it nice and slow, so hopefully it doesn't feel too overwhelming or anything like that at this stage. So, okay, so here we go. Starting on the C, 5th string, 3rd fret. We're going to use our thumb to play all the notes. Thumb on plucking hand, right hand for most guitarists. So here we go. And so 3, 4. 2. 2, and then the second line. 2. Back to beginning for our D C Alfino instruction. 2. Okay, cool. So that's the tune. I'm going to demonstrate it again, but I'm going to go slower. I realised once I started that actually that might be a little bit too quick to begin with. So I'll count this in again, exactly the same thing, but just a bit slower. Okay, so we're going to go more like half the speed. So 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and... Sorry, I'm going to start that again. That was probably too fast again. So, sorry, here we go again. So 3 and 4 and 3 and 4 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, and then the second line. And then that's beginning. C, C, B, A, B, 2. Okay, cool. So hopefully that demonstration, I think it went slower. It felt slower to me, so hopefully that was helpful. So I'll just pop on number 16, number 11, just so we can have a listen and see what you think. So again, hope you enjoyed it. I think this one is a bit faster than we played it, so you might need to work up to it. See what you think. Okay, cool. So, I hope you enjoyed that tune. You may have guessed from the style of some of these backing tracks that I have a bit of a 90s influence, so that was kind of my era, I suppose. So, yeah, so some of them I particularly enjoy playing, actually, so it's all good. So, good luck with all of that. I think that's going to be a good place for us to finish up for today. So in terms of what to practice this week, I would suggest, I've got down exercise 6 as warm up, which is incorrect. No, sorry, exercise 8, that's what we talked about, C major scale. So use that as a bit of a warm up, get the fingers moving. Remember, it's not just about the left hand, but about the right hand as well, and using your index and middle fingers. And then, so I think we'll probably we'll leave 7 behind, I think, and we'll just focus on number 9. I think that's going to be worth going over a little bit more, just because, you know, getting used to these new notes, these lower notes. And then obviously we had exercises 10 and 11. They were the new ones for us to get stuck into. If you want to have a go at filling in the table at the bottom of page 9, it's just similar to the one on the previous page, just about frets and strings and things. So please do so. We'll talk about that in a bit more detail next week. Keep on with the chord practice, because we do have a new chord coming our way pretty soon. I think it's on the following page. But we can sort that out next time. And otherwise, I think that's pretty much it. So if you have any questions, please do fire away. And if you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. Please let other people know if you've been enjoying some of these lessons and feel like you're getting something from it. Please just, you know, spread the word. Really, it's all there, hopefully, just for people to take advantage of. Really, so. Okay, so I'll send the lesson link round for next week pretty soon, and so yeah, have a great weekend, and I will see you next Thursday. Okay, take care then. Bye bye.